Hey, it's Clay Trader, and this will be a video chart on ticker symbol LQMT. We will take a look at the 30-minute time frame. Real quick, what do I mean by 30-minute in case maybe you're new to charts? Instead of each one of these candlesticks here representing 1 day's worth of price action, which is what you would normally see, each one represents 30 minutes. So while this here may look like several days worth of time, it's actually today's price action broken down into 30-minute time slices. I like to this time frame. I think does a good job of telling the quote-unquote story of the price, and then makes mapping out levels of support and resistance a bit easier to see. I did this analysis on Friday, so that's where these green line annotation is coming from. And from a presentation standpoint, this chart's a little bit tricky because there is perspective that goes into it. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're a day trader and you bought right there, or maybe you bought right there and you wanted to sell within 90 seconds after buying, then yeah, for you, the chart's looking pretty rough. But if you care about the big picture of things, then yeah, I get it. The price has still pulled back, from where it was. But overall, the bulls are still doing a great job in regards to building an overall higher base. And overall higher base, I realize that's just a general statement, but that's the cool thing about charts is they allow you to quantify and assign numbers to general statements. So overall higher base, how am I quantifying and defining that? Via this green line here valued at 35 cents, because if the price comes down here and bounces off it a few more times, which it's already done a couple times, but if that were to happen again, so if the price, let's just say does something like this and then starts to head back up, again, being focused on the big picture, which is, the perspective I'm talking about, you'd have a big old base right there. You'd have this big old base down there. If you picture each of these bases as stair steps, then the overall stair steps would still very clearly be headed in the upwards direction. So that's why it's all about perspective. I fully realize that if you're a day trader and you had a different outlook, then yeah, you couldn't care less about 35 cents. But for those that care about the grand scheme of everything, 35 cents, definitely that important area of support, and so far so good. Heck, today the price didn't even go down there and test it or anything like that, so it's still very well, in play in terms of holding strong. What about levels of resistance? Short-term area of resistance that's made itself known after today's price action right up here at 37.5 cents, and then of course if the bulls can break through 37.5, that's where the highs come into play again up there at 39.5. But before we start talking about, doing battle with 39.5 cents, bulls first got to get up above 37.5 cents. So those will be the two areas of resistance. All in all, though, like I said, grand scheme of thing perspective, yeah, it's pulled back. Yeah, it's just going sideways. But within that context, it is going sideways at a much higher area. And that's the name of the game, as far as building those long-term uptrends. So the week is young, still 3 days left. Let's see what's in store. One of the biggest questions that I get is, hey Clay, how do you find the stocks that you trade? So what I've done is put together a free resource guide where I talk about the tools that I use to locate stocks that I find interesting and think may have potential. So if that sounds like something that could add value to you as a trader, then click on the image that is up on the screen right now and I will email you the guide. The guide itself is very short and to the point, and best part, it's completely free. Thanks for watching the video. Let me know if you have any questions.